What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, man. I'm here to recap the game four Western Conference Finals game versus the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. And it wasn't a good game. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. It wasn't a good game at all. But it was a lot of stuff that I didn't like that I seen from OKC coach Mark Dayton. You know, he didn't do a lot of stuff I didn't see that he could have did to, help them try to compete in this game, because this game was very, very lackluster from the OKC. First quarter that I got down written in my notes. Just first off, I seen this: the Spurs haven't lost 3 games in a row, this season. So that was kind of interesting to me to see how they come out and see how they play this game. And they came out ready to play. So coming out, they have a good run, and Mark Daynaud makes subs at 7:26 in the game. That ain't even 5 minutes. Like, he has to get better with his substitutions. And I think he took Hartenstein out, and he took I think Chet out. He took some of his starters out the game and put a whole nother group in. I think he kept in Shea and somebody else. But to me, that is so mind blowing, because in the first game you did the same thing, and now you going right back to that in game 4. It kind of made me think, why? I don't know why he made the sub so early. That was super early. And then later on in the first quarter at 4:39, he puts Alhart and Chet back in the game. So that's why I would be getting it. He has to be better with his substitution, because if you were going to let him sit for 3 minutes, essentially, not even 3, 2 and some change, you shouldn't have took him out. You should have just kept him in the game, because in that spurt, they lost them minutes very bad. He shouldn't even did that. And then Shea subs out in the first quarter also at 4:39 when he gets Chet and Ahart back in the game. And then Shea gets back in the game at 3:37. So he's just doing a lot of things. He's overthinking. I don't know what his bench is telling him to do, but he needs to just lock in and try to coach this team up and have a better first quarter. And this in dang near every game. In every single game OKC has played that I've watched, in 1 through 4, OKC had a slow start. And I don't know, he has to do something to get his group, get his ball club to have a better first quarter, because if your first quarter is bad, what are you going to do? And the Spurs already they haven't lost 3 games in a row, and y'all coming out lackluster, and the Spurs are coming to punch you in the mouth. They have to do better. They have to do a better job of that. And okay, Shea didn't end up scoring to 3:22. Now, when they lost the first game, I put some stuff on Facebook saying I think Shea needs to run the 2, because if Shea's on the ball, he's getting double teamed every single time. And in that first game, he was getting triple teamed. I think Shea's seeing way too many double teams, and that's what's gonna come with star players. You know what I'm saying? So and he's playing great. And he ain't playing great, but he's playing good to me. He's passing out of the double teams. He's taking it well. He's taking jumpers. Now, he's going to miss some, but efficiency really doesn't matter in the playoffs, because the star is going to take the shots. So he's playing pretty good. It's just the role players that have to step up. And being that the role players had a great game last game in game 3, you kind of knew, they weren't going to play so well in this game, because, role players don't play too good away. So Shea doesn't score until the 3:22 mark, and then he ends up with 8 points. All right, Wemby comes out, and OKC really doesn't dominate those minutes. I don't know why, but when Wemby comes out the game, OKC has to win those minutes by a lot. Wemby comes out, the score was 23-10. Wemby comes back in, and the score is 28-17. That ain't enough. They need to at least get so much closer, and that's a 7-5, split, but that ain't good enough. If Wemby's not in the game, you need to at least try to beat that team by 10. Because that team, they're good, but they ain't Wemby good. So you need to try to win those minutes, because if not, then you're not taking advantage of that. And you need to take advantage of that. Shai's not getting easier touches. I don't know for what reason Chet is scared of Wemby. So, they need to get more comfortable. And Fox scored 0 points in the first quarter. So you have to get way more comfortable. Second quarter, Chet fouls. No Chet and no SGA in the game. Why? I don't know. That's another thing with Mark Daigneault. He's making terrible substitutions. You already don't got J-Dub. You already don't got AJ Mitchell. Why are two of your best players out of the game at the same time? Somebody explain that to me. I don't know why he's doing that. He has to be better with his substitutions. Somebody in his locker room, on the coaching staff, got to help him. He's struggling right now with the subs. And everybody played today. Everybody played except Nikola Topic. That's a problem. In the Western Conference Finals, Game 4, that's a problem. He has to be better with his substitutions. Okay. SGA come back in at 8-17. The score is 33-26. Low scoring game. Then another thing I seen, Mark Daigneault used the challenge in the second quarter at 7:32. Now, come to see, it wouldn't have mattered at all because the game was a blowout. But why are you using that challenge so early? That outcome isn't gonna affect the later part of the game. So you don't have to use that challenge. Why he used it, I don't know why. It's a bad challenge for me. It slows down the momentum. You just didn't need it. And Spurs got in the bonus super early. Thank God Wemby didn't use it to his advantage, because Wemby takes 3 threes. Well, he really takes 2 threes in the bonus while they were in the bonus. Wemby has to do a better job of taking advantage of that also. You can see in the game when his players hey, bro, we're in the bonus. They were telling him, and he still didn't take advantage how you thought he would. He took 2 threes in the bonus. And he took 2 free throws. That ain't enough. All right, he has to get better recognition. Okay, we're in the bonus. I'm down here in the paint. I have to take advantage of these guys. He has to do a better job of that. But they won the game, so not nitpicking, but I'm nitpicking. And he took a mid-range jump shot, a terrible jump shot. He shouldn't have took that at all. And he's just not aggressive in the bonus enough. He has to be aggressive. His teammates have to, be aggressive as well to try to get him the ball, so it'll be a little bit easier for him, while they're in the bonus, because, at the free throw line, they're easy points. You need those, especially in a tough playoff game where you're down 2-1. And Wemby makes a half-court 3 that gave them all the momentum they needed. All right, it's already a low-scoring game. Third quarter, the score is 50-38. All right. If you're sitting on the OKC side of things, you're thinking bro, we played terrible, and we're only down 12. We're only down 12 points, and we've played terrible. And Wemby just hit a big 3 to give them all the momentum. So you were really down 9, and Wemby hit a big 3. So now you're down 12, but you shouldn't be, you should go in the locker room, hey, we got this in the bag. We should be good, bro. We won 2 games in a row. We down 12 and we're playing bad. Okay, so going into halftime, Shai has 10 points. He's 4 for 10 from the field, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. All right, not bad, but he needs to play better. He wasn't aggressive enough in the first. Like I said, he didn't make his first shot until the 3:22 mark in the first quarter, which is bad. He ended up with 8 points, so that means he scored 2 points. He scored 2 points in the third quarter. That's unacceptable for Shea, a two-time MVP. All right, that's unacceptable. Chet, 8 points, 7 rebounds. That's his best halftime performance. Isaiah Hartenstein, 12 points, 5 rebounds. Lou Dort, I made a post after the first game. I don't know what Lou Dort's going to play for. Lou Dort doesn't need to play in this series. He had 9 minutes, 0 points, 2 rebounds, 0 assists, 3 fouls. He doesn't need to play, and he didn't take a jump shot. Lou Dort doesn't need to play in this series for me, if I'm Mark Day. No. He doesn't need to play. Cason Wallace, he started today for A.J. Mitchell because A.J. Mitchell is out for a hamstring. He started. He went 1 for 7 from the field. I mean, it's just bad performances all around. Jared McCain came in. He was 0 for 7. Isaiah Joe, like, he played everybody. Alex Caruso played 10 minutes. He didn't do nothing but foul. So, like, going into halftime, if you're the coach and you're looking at this, you're like, we're in a good spot because it's no way we can play worse than we already did. It's no way we can do that. So, they should have felt good, not in a way like, okay, you're feeling bad, but feeling good in a way of we can't play no worse than we already did. So coming out, we need to come out and play hard, try to get back in this game. Because the Spurs, they played okay. It's low scoring game, 50-38, especially in the Western Conference. This was a low scoring game. Wemby had a great first quarter. Great first half. 22 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And Vassell came to the show. He had 11 points in the first half. Nobody else really did much of anything. So Wemby scored 22 points, and the OKC had 38 points. That's not good. It's bad coming from a sense of what you see their MVP. He's putting on an MVP performance in the first half, especially after the last game of what they was like. And Shea's coming up with 10 points, only scoring 2 points in the second quarter. That is very unacceptable from him. He has to be better. Okay. Coming out of halftime, Mark, they go on a run. They go on a run. Mark Dale has to call a timeout at 10:45 mark. That ain't even 2 minutes. I want to know, what did he tell his guys coming out of half to where you had to call a timeout not even 2 minutes into the third quarter? Not even 2. At 10:45, it's 12 minutes to start the half. You couldn't even get to 10 minutes before you had to call a timeout. That is terrible. I don't know what he's telling his guys, but he has to be better. And I don't know, he has to find some way to encourage his guys. I know it's an away game, but you're up 2-1. If you can get this game going back 3-1, going back to OKC, that's what you need, because down 12 at halftime isn't bad at all, especially in this era. That ain't bad at all. So I don't know what he told his guys, but it wasn't good enough. And then the commentators were blowing me talking about Shea wasn't being doubled. They're not doubling Shea. They was doubling Shea the whole game. If you were watching the game like I was, they were doubling Shea every time. So that just pissed me off a little bit. The commentator was saying that. Third quarter, 9:34, they got a shot clock violation. Shea didn't touch the ball. I'm like, bro, Shea, you already scored 2 points in the third. 2 points in the second. And you coming out of halftime and you're not being aggressive. I don't know, man. Then they had a 15-5 coming out. Mark calls another timeout. I'm like, bro, what is going on, bro? I don't know what he told his guys in the locker room, but it's like everybody was sluggish today. And in a playoff game, you can't have that. Then coming out of the timeout, Shea don't touch the ball when he had Harrison Barnes just like face guarding him, but it's Harrison Barnes. You're gonna see Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, Fox all game. When you have somebody like that on you, you're not aggressively trying to seek the ball because he's an easier matchup for you to potentially score on. And then I think some Chet takes a shot, they go out of bounds, so it's their ball again, and Shea didn't touch it again. So like that's like 3 possessions of SGA, not like nothing involving SGA. That's a big problem. He has to exert himself in the offense. He has to touch the ball every single time down. I don't like that. He has to be better. And then Wemby subs out at 5:21. It was 69-45. Why they didn't like that's do my down 14? This is what I'm saying. When Wemby's out the game, they have to get these. They have to win these minutes. They didn't win them. They didn't win them. They won them 3-7. That ain't good enough. That's not gonna win you the ball game. You have to play better. 3-7. That's not gonna win you the ball game. And why did Isaiah Hartenstein only get 4 minutes in the third quarter? I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why. Like I said, Mark Danov's got to be better with his subs. They were terrible today. He needs some help with the substitutions. All right. Starting the fourth quarter, 78-60. You down 18. That's not bad. You know, that's not in this era. Now, would you like to be down 18? No. You would have to play a better third quarter coming out of halftime. But you can still, I done seen teams come back from 18. Guess what? Shea and Chet didn't start the quarter. Why? I don't know. It's like he gave up in his game. You know, it's like he gave up in this game, and you cannot do that, bro. I don't feel like you can give up in a playoff game. I don't ever feel like you should give up in a playoff game. You know, SJ doesn't start the quarter. Chet doesn't start the quarter. And then if you weren't going to, you know, have them start the quarter, Wemby subs out at 8:43 and you're down 20. Chet subs in. Why not sub Shea in too? Just to see, you're down 20. You're not down 20 with 8 minutes and 43 seconds left. You're not going to see if your guys got some type of, come on guys, hey, we got to have this. You're not going to see if they can do that in a playoff game. You're not going to see, especially when Wemby coming out, you're not going to put your guys back in and see, hey, guys, hey, let's see if we can come back and win this game. What are we doing? So SGA doesn't come in none in that fourth. He doesn't play the fourth at all. And that's a problem. No intensity. And OKC without J-Dub, they're a terrible fast break team, which they need more fast break points, especially when you have Wemby on the other end. You need to try to get those fast break points because the half-court offense is already going to be hell to get points because Wemby is down there. So, I mean, Mark has to be better with the substitution. Shea got to be more aggressive. Chet got to be more aggressive. I mean, you can't. The bench, they won last game for you, to be honest. They won the last game for you. So, I ain't going to say you can't depend on them, but you would like those guys to make shots because you needed them to make shots. But, I mean, they're coming off the bench for a reason. You know, then they could be started somewhere else, but they're coming off the bench for a reason. But your stars got to play better, man. SGA has to play better. Chet has to play better. Mark Daigneault has to be better. I mean, and that's just what it is. And, you know, that's all I got for Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the Eastern Conference Finals Game 4. Are we looking for a sweep with New York and Cleveland, or could Cleveland pull one off? I don't know, man. But I'll get back with y'all. Appreciate y'all.